Hi, Jordyn. I want to ask, last 2 weeks, team's gotten not necessarily the results you're looking for. How's the locker room feeling, and what are you guys doing differently trying to prepare for Houston to get a better result tomorrow?
I think the locker room's still in good spirits. I mean, I think that the Portland result, yes, it looks bad, but I think that it came down to small things that we corrected throughout the week. And then obviously the Chicago result was more in our hands than what it showed. So I think like we're feeling good. I think like it was just off performances for us, but I don't think we're stressing too much about it. It's just small little corrections that we had to make in order to move forward. And I think we're in a good headspace and we're excited for Houston and excited to keep moving forward and looking for that playoff spot.
And beginning of the season, you guys were eking out a lot of one-goal games, and there's recently been much more flurry of offensive production from the Reign. I wonder what you think has kind of helped you guys turn the corner there and are being more productive in attack.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a long season. And I think at the beginning of the season we had some new faces, we had a new formation, we had a lot of new things kind of come at us, and I think that that takes time as well to click and to gel and to kind of get what you want out of it. I think we're at a point in the season where things are coming together, and I think that while yes, we're getting the goals that we want and we're scoring more and more, I think that it comes to the flip side of we also have to keep goals out of our own net in order to get results in this league, especially. We know that it can be crazy. So I think it's just that it took some time, and I think that with such an amazing lineup and depth in our squad, I think that it pushes us to be great every single training day, and that's exciting as well. I think like the standards in training have just only grown and grown throughout the season as well, so that only gets the best out of every player on the field and on the bench and wherever they are. So that's been exciting to watch too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. And then Charles.
Hey, Jordyn. Just kind of the build off of that last part, mentioning the depth, the different ways that this team can attack. I just wanted to ask, because I know you mentioned it last match to us about different attackers this group has. For you, as a forward, I just wanted to know what it's been like. As you mentioned, level of training has picked up. Like, I just want to know what it's like for you to see, these different attackers day in and day out of training, seeing what they're able to accomplish, on the field, because it, certainly is a very deep group all across the field, but, particularly in the attack.
Yeah. No, it's exciting. I think that a lot of our forwards all bring different things and different identities, which is so exciting to just the depth of the squad. And different things are used for different moments. And I think like when these weeks get hard, filled with lots of games, we're able to rotate squad, we're able to rest players and still have such a strong lineup to present, which is exciting. And I think that's super unique. And I think as far as adding just high performance players all the way around, I think the standard on and off the field has grown immensely. And I think that's exciting. And I think that's what just allows our team to continue to grow. And I think as the season continues, you're just going to witness that as just the depth and the growth that this team is going to continue to have through August, September, October, and into the moments that matter most.
Thanks, Charles. Anything else for Jordyn? Cool. Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Thank
Jordyn.
you.
Hello, I want to ask, obviously last two games really have been kind of tough results, different ways. I wonder, now that you've had a chance to kind of look back on the game against Chicago, what are some of the things you feel like you saw in that game and things you guys want to adjust going into the game against Houston tomorrow?
Well, pretty simple. I think we scored 3 great goals. We were after the third goal went in, I thought we were in complete control of the game, and then unfortunately we let it slip. But I think one thing we've spoken about this week is the reality of the situation is it was no different than when we were in Chicago. The outcome was exactly the same. Just the emotion of how it happened is the complete flip. So we'd said before, if we match our results that we had in the first half of the season, then we're going to be okay, right? We're going to be there or thereabouts. And reality, when you take all emotion away, is we drew again. It was obviously disappointing the manner in which it happened, but the harsh reality was it's not a disaster, and it's something that we have to learn from and bounce back from real quick. So that's been our message this week with the team.
Looking ahead to Houston tomorrow, they're another team that's kind of lower in the standings, but has been gritting out some results lately and sticking in games. What do you see from them that you think you need to be looking out for in particular?
Well, yeah, I mean, they stay in games, right? They've been scoring goals late. So great opposition to have after we went through on Monday to learn from. I think they've become a little bit more direct than they were at the early part of the season. So being mindful of that, being prepared for that, making sure that we take care of the things that we think are going to be really important in the game. So denying space behind them, deciding, picking our moments of when we can press or not press. Obviously coming here is a tough environment in that relationship in regards to the weather. And then when we get the ball, showing our quality on the ball, I think is going to be really important.
And then one last one for me. You mentioned the weather tomorrow. Looks like it's going to be another very hot game. How's the team's fitness looking going into tomorrow? You've had a couple of injuries carrying through the last few weeks.
Yeah, we're doing okay. Anna's still not quite there yet. Shay is one that picked up a knock in Chicago. But everyone else is fine, I think. Yeah, everyone else is fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Any other questions for Laura? Charles? Charles, go ahead.
Hey, Laura, I just wanted to ask you, I know we've talked to you about mentality throughout the years. We've heard so much earlier in the season about this team, working and ensuring that they're going to get better defensively after what happened last year. Mm-hmm. Has that sort of mentality of wanting to, improve defensively, obviously after what happened this past week, kind of helped this group come out of what happened against Chicago? Obviously, you got a lot of veterans, so being able to bounce back, I don't think it's something that, is going to be too difficult, but I guess just more on that defensive mentality and wanting to improve on that back end. Is that something you've seen kind of carry through training this week?
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out tomorrow, right? Like that's the evaluation of where we're at. Do we want to do that? Have we spoken about doing that? Have we trained that? Absolutely. It's definitely the DNA of who we want to be. I want us to hurt when we concede goals the way we have. I want us to be disappointed in that, but I also don't want us to dwell on it. I want us to move on and solve the next problem. And I think that's the thing that this team has done a good job of this season. Is we might make mistakes and things might not go our way, but we learn from them and we get better, and we arguably don't make the same mistake again. I think that's what's been really important for us to talk about, is we've made similar mistakes in 2 games now. So how do we make sure that we don't do that again this weekend?
And then I know we heard from you earlier in the season about Jordyn Huitema. She came to you, I think.
Charles, you froze for a sec.
I know we talked a little bit. Sorry, I thought I heard Ryan.
You froze.
You hear me all right?
Yeah, go for it. You good? Go for it.
Again.
Oh,
Maybe turn off the camera.
how encouraging it was, is,
Charles, maybe try to
wait.
maybe turn off your camera for a second, because it keeps cutting out.
This all right?
Yeah, that's better.
Sorry. Yeah, just with Jordyn Huitema, I know from you earlier in the season about how she had come to you and wanted to improve however she could. Just how encouraging was that her performance against Chicago, with the goal and the assist?
Yeah, I think Jordyn the last 2 weeks has been great. I think the challenge for her now is to show that consistency moving forward and to make sure that she can continue in the vein of form that she's been in the last 2 weeks.
All right, thanks, Charles. Thanks, everyone. We'll have Jordyn here in a sec. Thanks.